As vast as this world is, the myriads of thoughts of where we came from and why we are here. At some point, each one of us has a responsibility to more than just ourselves. Each one of us can help shape not only our future, but the future of the ones we love. It's not very complicated, and at times, it just starts with one person.
My name is Constance Marley, and I come from Jamaica, and I came here to look for a better life for myself and my family.
I don't know if you're aware of her medical situation, but it has been kind of an uphill battle because of the RSD that she's dealing with.
There are no words to describe what it feels like. I've been to several pain doctors. I've had pain stimulators put in, take out. It robs you of your life. It ages you. It ages me about 10 years.
Grandma's nice, she's loving, and she loves us very much.
I have no choice. I have to do the best, try to put a big fight and do the best I can and hope for the best.
So that is my dad. He actually passed in November last year. And that is my mama, right? About 8 years ago, my mother was diagnosed with CRPS. Back then it was called RSD. Most of you have never heard of it, just like I didn't. But I'm hoping with this film, we can change that. My name is Charles Mattocks. I'm a father of two amazing girls, Isabella and Eliana, and a handsome son named Armani. I'm also a celebrity chef that has been seen on such shows as Dr. Oz, CNN, and The Today Show. Best-selling author, world diabetes advocate, because I have it, and now filmmaker. I decided I would make a film based on her life with CRPS and try to help the community. Now, I had some background in being an advocate as I am living with type 2 diabetes myself, and I work in diabetes around the world. So I started my journey to meet doctors, people living with CRPS, and get as much knowledge as I could about the condition while trying to create a movement. It would change my life and many others.
Oh, I'd like to be able to walk on my feet again and go shopping and do some of the things that I used to do. Just to be able to stand on my feet. When I put my foot on the ground, it's full of broken glass and pins and needles and stones almost. It's unbearable. You have to learn to live with the new life that you have. But I know that I cannot live with this pain. So I'm hoping that this new doctor, Dr. Hanna, that I've heard about, that he will be able to help me. I hope for that. Otherwise, it's going to be a sad story.
I love my patients. It's a passion. I think I'm very lucky, or let's call it blessed, to be able to do what I do, to be able to provide relief for those patients.
I have been suffering from RSD for almost 3 years now.
I've had RSD.
I was diagnosed with complex regional pain syndrome quite some time ago.
I have CRPS in my foot.
RSD patients are extremely depressed, extremely frustrated. By the time I see them, they have tried everything and everything has failed. By the time I see them, a lot of them have lost function of one limb or two limbs or all, extremities. I see some patients come here on wheelchairs.
Imagine a world where even touch is too painful to bear.
CRPS and RSD are two of the most painful conditions you can ever have.
It can strike anyone, anywhere, at any time.
It's a difficult disorder to diagnose, and although rare, CRPS is more common than first thought.
It could be being bumped by a supermarket cart, spraining your ankle, having a fracture.
But they didn't see any broken bones. It just started progressing so rapidly, and then that's when Dr. Barker said, you have RSD.
The biggest problem is that the majority of doctors really don't know how to diagnose it.
Millions of Americans suffer from CRPS, a syndrome that follows an injury sometimes years later. And patients say being dismissed by doctors makes CRPS even worse.
I mean, patients can get it from trauma, and actually sometimes even after stroke or after minor injury. It ranges from minimal injury to severe injury. What happens is the attack or the barrage of stimulations from the injured area goes to the spinal cord, and it kind of stimulates the brain and causes a lot of dearrangement of the receptors at the spinal cord.
To Neverland. Bye-bye, folks.
Let me hear you count for me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm cold. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Every day since December 15th, 2012, I've been in excruciating burning and stabbing pain because I've been diagnosed with CRPS/RSD type 1 stage 3.
The pain isn't out of control pain. I had a spine surgery, and that's where it started. And it went into my hands, and from my hands it went up my arms and throughout my spine, and within a year it was in my feet, ankles, and legs. You know, we're selling their house now to move to be closer to Clearwater, to the infusions. So I have to, that's always been in the back of my mind, you know, what happens. And I have to put it in the front of my mind and figure out what my next step would be.
It was very difficult before we found the treatment that she now undergoes. To see her on the floor almost in convulsions because of the pain, and knowing that there was nothing you could do. It was heartbreaking. We would try anything and everything just somehow to mitigate that which she was going through.
years old. I was playing soccer and I twisted my ankle, it was raining, and I turned it into a pothole. Immediately I had pain in my ankle and then it spread to the entire leg. Basically the pain is super intense and horrible. It's on the McGill pain scale, which is a scale of pain. It's the highest thing up, the highest painful condition on there. It's above childbirth, it's above amputation, it's above cancer pain. But just because I have it doesn't mean that just because I have it doesn't mean I'm not normal. It just you should still talk to me and treat me like a human being or whatever.
It was hard to accept from a very normal, active child that overnight something like this happened to her.
A healthy, active child was told she was crazy. She was faking. I was told I was crazy. There's nothing wrong with my kid. It was a behavior. That was the furthest thing from the truth. She had a horrible disorder that no one knows about.
I was a tennis player at Voluntary Tennis Academy. When I look at those trophies, it helps me remember that all that training, it paid off. I don't want to think that I wasted 4 or 5 years of all that hard work for nothing. I always played sports and I was on the path to be a professional tennis player. Multiple nerve blocks, injections, spinal catheter blocks, 6 weeks physical therapy at the Cleveland Clinic inpatient. Broke my foot 2008. I was still trying to play tennis at that time. I didn't play tennis for 2 or 3 years whenever I was in that excruciating, can't do anything but yell at the top of your lungs.
So why am I making this movie? For one, because it needs a voice. I have been fighting for millions around the world with diabetes for the past few years. My heart holds passion for those that are hurting. I have met amazing new friends that I know need me to help keep up this fight for them each day. Also because I always think, who would fight for me if I was sick? Then of course because of my mother. I have seen pain in her eyes that would break any child's heart. I hope to open the eyes of millions and get back on TV shows like CNN, Dr. Oz, and The Today Show. And I hope to have the medical community move to action.
Currently, for the last 10 years, I've been running a nonprofit organization. So I work here strictly pro bono for the last 10 years. It's the International Research Foundation for RSD CRPS. We're based here, headquartered here in Tampa. We do provide care for patients in addition to that who have the complex regional pain syndrome, abbreviated CRPS, also known as reflex sympathetic dystrophy, or RSD.
When people are going through a lot of pain, they just don't know how to cope with it. It's almost like their life has ended.
No one can understand pain. This is what I've come to realize. But how bad is the pain with CRPS? On the McGill scale, it's rated higher than childbirth and amputation. And because there's no real money in this disease, no one is rushing to find a cure.
So far there is no cure for RSD or CRPS. There is management. There is pain management for it. In the past, we used to do sympathetic blocks, believing it is mainly a problem with the sympathetic system. That mentality or those treatment plans have changed a little bit lately.
We do know that that now we can, for the first time, say there is a treatment out there that and work in the more desperate cases where the RSD is spread throughout the body, and that happens to be with the ketamine infusions.
So my mom was going to be getting ketamine, one of only a few treatments that actually help at times with some of the pain of complex regional pain syndrome. So I went and Googled, and it said ketamine is a medication used mainly for starting and maintaining anesthesia. Other uses include sedation in intensive care, as a painkiller, and as a treatment for complex regional pain syndrome. It induces a trance-like state while providing pain relief, sedation, and memory loss. Why ketamine?
The pain is more than what I can bear. And I don't want to live like this. I can't.
Well, I cannot promise you, that the ketamine will help you 100%. Okay? I can only tell you that it has helped many patients, okay, who were in your same situation. But can I guarantee and tell you, Constance, don't worry, piece of cake, you're gonna do great, I can guarantee you. I cannot do that, okay? I cannot give you false hopes.
There's no words to describe the pain that I feel. Pain everlasting, traveled from one foot to the other, exactly the same, into my behind, into my hand. Now it's really full body RSD that I have. And so here I am 8 years later with pain that's unbearable all over my body.
CRPS is abbreviation for chronic regional pain syndrome, or previously known as RSD, or reflex sympathetic dystrophy. What it is basically, it's a condition of severe pain that is way out of proportion of the precipitating event or out of proportion to the injury that the patient had. Usually start in one limb and can spread to the other limb or the rest of the body. The main problem with RSD or CRPS is that the pain is very severe.
It's been very painful just sometimes just to see her going through
This
it.
is your first time doing it?
It's hell. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish this on anyone. And there's a few people I haven't liked in my lifetime, but you know what? I don't hate anyone. But I wouldn't wish it on no one, no one. This is the worst type of illness you could ever have besides cancer.
The thing is, my girls, unfortunately, never got a chance to meet their grandfather. He died last year all of a sudden from cancer. I had to watch him go through that. So it was very important that I make sure that their grandmother was around for many years and that they would be involved in her life. And who is that?
Grandma and Grandpapa.
Yeah. What do you think about Grandma being sick?
She needs help.
And what do you think? How is it? Is Daddy doing a good thing trying to help her?
Yes.
Why?
It's because you're helping her really nice.
Yeah. Isabella, what about you?
What?
Grandma needs help, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think Grandma needs help?
Because she's really sick.
And you want to see her better?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see that picture again. Turn it this way. There you go. Grandma was pretty, right? Today is day 3, and I'm tired. I'm really tired. You know, it's a lot to deal with her with someone who's sick is just not easy at all. You know, I think I do this because I would want someone to do it for me. You know, she's going through hallucinations. You know, you gotta literally, it's like she's a baby. I mean, you almost have to wash her. You have to feed her. You have to make sure she doesn't fall out of the bed. You have to make sure she's drinking water. It's tough.
They've been through so much to get us over to the west coast of Florida. From the east coast, they had to sell their home. That was their forever home. They've been there 15 years. And the move has been stressful and hard, physically, emotionally, mentally, and it takes its toll on them. And I'm dependent on them for a lot of my care and my livelihood. And that scares me as time goes by, or that this move has taken so much from them physically. And that guilt that I carry. Because had I not gotten sick, this move wouldn't have been necessary. And that's hard to process. And that's hard to carry on me.
It's hard on me when I can't help. Okay, but if I can help her, you know, it is what it is. We know it's an incurable disease. We know that unless there's a miracle somewhere and somebody finds a cure, this is what she's got to face the rest of her life. We thank God for ketamine infusion therapy. Dr. Hannah, Dave Grasso, and the people at the Florida Spine Institute have been absolutely fantastic. And that, to date, has been the miracle that keeps her going.
How's school?
I absolutely despise it.
Are you making friends and all that kind of good stuff, or?
I try, but don't get much in return.
Why?
Because typically most people think that if you're in a wheelchair, immediately you're mentally retarded, even though that's not in my case. But lots of people just stare at me, and if I say hi to them, they'll say hi back in courtesy, but that's about all they get into.
Tell us what it's like living with a sister with CRPS.
I believe it's really hard because you don't have it, so you don't know what she's experiencing, and you just see her in pain, and it's really bad. You don't know what to do because sometimes you don't know why or what's going on, and you just try to help, but you really can't because there's nothing that you really can do.
She was this social butterfly, this beautiful girl, not afraid of anything, you know, a swimmer, you know, student counselor, president honor roll. She had it all. I think she feels trapped in a body that is not hers, if that makes any sense. She's only 14, you know, it's not like this happened when she was 50. And that she had a fulfilled life, you know, with, you know, a husband and a children and, you know, a career. She's starting. She just have, you know, a lot ahead of her that I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know whether she will complete a career. I don't know if she's gonna one day decide I can't fight anymore. I don't know if she will get married. I just don't know. And yeah, it is heartbreaking.
I know I do want to have a career in life but obviously I don't want to push myself to the breaking point. But I want to push myself to at least be able to do some normal things, like looking into what colleges I want to go to, looking into what I want to major in, doing internships, getting a part-time job, going out on dates, movies, spring break with friends at a beach, or things like that. But that's just optimistic. And then when you go back to reality, you realize I can't even leave the house without my mom, an ice pack, those kind of things.
One of the reasons I'm so committed to this project is because of my own children. And seeing those with CRPS, like Natalia and Hannah, and scores of others around the world that suffer for absolutely no reason. It scares me to ever even have to think of my little baby suffering from this disease. So I try to create a movement with social media and gathering up some awesome advocates in CRPS that have helped lend a hand to getting this film out to the world. It wouldn't be easy.
The whole thing with the documentary is really to bring awareness. See, a lot of people go years without being diagnosed with CRPS.
Hey Charles, I just wanted to say thank you so much for making this documentary to bring awareness.
And I was very, very excited about this. Thought to myself, wow, finally somebody's gonna give us a voice.
Charles Mattocks. And boy, what a godsend he was, not only to me, but to the RSD CRPS community.
I was embraced by many in the community, and one such person was a lady named Nancy Cotterman and Diane, both living with CRPS, who help hundreds cover costs of treatment with their nonprofit.
I think over a period of time, this film is going to open up doors that otherwise would never be opened. It's going to enlighten, it's going to educate, it's going to help, and most importantly, it's giving hope to people that feel hopeless, that have felt hopeless. People that wanted to give up are now saying, wow, trial by fire is giving me a reason to hang on. Trial by fire is going to save my life. I can't tell you how many people I've heard that from in messages, in private messages, in text messages, in phone calls.
I'm Nancy Cotterman. We are a nonprofit that helps people obtain the treatment that they want when either their insurance will not pay for it or they are uninsured. We saw this need in the CRPS community and decided that was something that really needed to be done.
I hope the insurance companies start to cover the treatments that these people in pain deal with. I hope they'll spark the community to stand up for the thousands, if not more, that need to be heard. But also because I care. I don't know what tomorrow will bring. I don't know what will happen with my mother. But I do know I won't stop trying. Day 5, it went really well, you know. She was walking around the best as she could. I think a lot of this is going to be in a person's head from what I've been talking to other people about that. You know, it's the pain has been here for 8 years, so it's almost as if it's still there.
I think the first message to give to anyone that's dealing with pain like this is that this does not have to be your theme anymore, because I think that it does become your theme. It's obvious it becomes your theme, and I can understand that because it is so strong and it does take over your life. But it's important to start focusing on other things in your life.
So I think as, you know, the treatment continues and things like that, that she will start to really improve. So
I did 4 days high dose
after waiting almost 11 weeks, and that was too long to wait. So it was a little more intense of treatment, but it really brought the pain down.
One thing I have here at Dr. Hannah's, a lot of hope, and we get a lot of respect and dignity, which is something we've looked for 10 years. Respect, and we're treated with respect and dignity by everyone on the staff, including the physical therapists. They respect Hannah, they understand what she's going through, they try to help her, but they listen to her and they get it.
And last night was a night from hell. Night from hell. Just pain all over, every inch of my body. I couldn't even sit, stand, kneel down, shake myself. I thought I was going to come in and go in and get some help, and I wouldn't have the pain. And as the week goes by, it gets worse and worse. I don't know what I'll do with myself. This is just not human. It is not human for anybody to suffer like this.
So one of the problems we have with this disease is that no one knows about it. Not the doctors, not the people that even have it. Thousands go undiagnosed. Even on the CDC website, there is no mention of CRPS. Some say there's 1 to 5 million people with this condition, but no one really knows.
If physicians around the country don't really know what it is, I wonder how many people are actually being diagnosed that have it. So I don't know how we could get a more accurate number.
These physicians, not all, but some of these physicians pay no attention to what's going on about them. They either do that or they have one of their assistants decide to check boxes in the records rather than they doing it themselves. That's probably the most frustrating situation you run across when dealing with physicians. I go with her to most every doctor visit to bring validity, to protect her. Because we had one occasion where she's suffering from anxiety, walks into the doctor's office, he sees what she's going through, and he says, well, you better shape up, or maybe you better leave or come back another time.
It's just very hard when doctors don't know. No one knows what CRPS is, and they think you're making it up.
I would not think it would surprise me if there's one person who was diagnosed with CRPS wasn't told it was in their head, or wasn't told that it doesn't exist. And so you go from doctor to doctor. Sometimes you find out, like for me, I found out I had it before I was diagnosed, technically diagnosed. And to go to a doctor and beg him into believing you have something is a little bit backwards.
If a doctor can't help you, they need to admit it. They need to listen to the patient and believe the patient.
Symptoms are unusual. You know, the picture is very different from your typical pain. And a lot of primary cares, you know, are not aware of it. They didn't get the training on it. Very few primary care doctors in their residency get trained with pain management. And if they don't, they may never seen it during their training. And if they don't know about it or nobody educate them about it, then they will never know about it.
God, we're here to pray for Natalia, to pray for her health, just bring her the relief that she needs, along with all other people who are suffering from this terrible disease.
It's hard. It's really, really hard to see her like that. To pass through that is hard. People don't understand. Family don't understand the pain that you have inside. It's hard that you can't even explain that one. Mirna, I don't know, but I go home and I cry and I cry and I cry. And I try to be the strength for me at night. And she didn't see me cry, really. And my husband sometimes he's like, what's wrong? Well, there happened this, and I don't know what happened with Natalia. I don't know how long she's gonna be living, how long she's gonna be alive. It's a disease that we don't know nothing, that we've been learning.
Natalia is a sweet little girl. When she first came in, it was hard to get her to smile, but now that's all she does when she comes in. And I would love to see her get up out of that wheelchair and walk for us.
The good thing I've done is kind of talk to a lot of other people who have CRPS as far as the treatment and how it's affected them.
I have a daughter that suffers from RSD. She suffered from this terrible disease for quite a few years. It's something that a father or a loved one does not like to see at all.
Back in 2011, I had corrective surgery done on my left foot for tarsal tunnel, and I'd say 2 weeks into recovery, I was diagnosed with RSD. At the time, is what they called it. We had to make some serious decisions to reconfigure our lives. We had to let everything go. I couldn't handle the work. I couldn't do anything. I was immobilized.
There were 3 doctors that were all telling me at once that if you play tennis again, you literally will end up at a point where you'll end up at a point where you'll be in so much pain and there'll be nothing that they can do. And that crushed my dream of wanting to be a professional tennis player.
You know, pain is pain. It's a very terrible thing, but I just really want her to be a little bit more positive that this is going to work, so that it can work.
Do I need to play or do something here?
No, it's going.
Oh, sorry.
I love this. Wow, look at this.
That I wrote on the back.
Oh, you did?
I don't know what's been causing it. I've just been feeling 10 times more depressed than usual and having more suicidal ideations than usual.
This disease is called the suicide disease because there are some people that just can't get help.
I always feel like, you know, if they came here or, you know, if they went to any doctor who will treat it aggressively, you know, enough that it may have a better chance of getting better, and they wouldn't be as, you know, so desperate and in so much pain, so that they will take their life.
I don't really know why. It's just recent. I don't, maybe it started 2 months ago, maybe, where I started getting really depressed and suicidal, but not that I've tried anything, but just thinking about it makes me cry sometimes.
It's not what we dream for our children, right? I'm sure you have, it's not what you dream for your little girl.
I recall that day like it was yesterday. My strong West Indian mother talking about taking her life. I had to do something. I would encounter many stories while making this film. I'm not sure I understood what I was walking into. I felt their pain. How could I not?
I was on anti-anxiety medications for sleep, And one afternoon, I took the whole prescription.
Yeah, I definitely was going to take my life. I knew when, I knew how, because I knew I didn't want to live like this anymore. I didn't want to live the way I was feeling. I didn't want to live in that kind of pain anymore. I didn't have any hope.
When you go through something like this, your first question is, why me? And then you see so many others and you just question why. And you pray for a cure. And when that doesn't happen, you learn to pray for strength.
I had no idea what I would encounter when I started this film. These people who let me into their homes and lives became my friends. I shared their joys and also their pains. They shared things with me they didn't share with some of their own family. Many nights I lay awake thinking, what more can I do? What more can I do? I just wish she was a more positive person, and I gotta be real, right? It's a documentary, and we have to show reality. And I don't know. Sometimes I think that the negative is holding the progress back, and I think positivity in the mind helps breed positivity in the body. So, day 14 is over, and last day tomorrow. Let's see what happens.
Dr. Hannah, who runs the Florida Spine, he's a physician that, he's a one-of-a-kind physician as far as I'm concerned. Many of the physicians today put you in a box, and Laura Lee has a good way of explaining it. You come in to see this doctor, you're put into this box, and the doctor does for you whatever the box says. Dr. Hannah is not that way. Dr. Hannah thinks outside the box, and Dr. Hannah individualizes the treatment for each patient.
Dr. Hannah is a miracle to me. She likes him, and he's helping her, and she hasn't had good help in a long time, very long time. She's had more disappointment. They all say, oh, we'll try, but then they give up real quick.
Dr. Hannah really helped me get my faith back and helped me start to believe that I could live, not a tennis life, but still a good life. I'll have pain, but he'll help me work through it.
I guess when I talk about physicians, what always comes to mind is Dr. Hannah. He's been a godsend. Let's cut it.
So for 16 days, I felt as if I put a woman through more than her small body could bear. And at the end of this, I hope we can figure out a way for this to be a reality. CRPS has been cured. Would mean an end of pain for the hundreds of thousands that see no hope of relief.
To fight this disease, you have to have hope, and you have to have faith, and you have to have perseverance, and you have to believe that there is going to be an answer soon, a cure.
If someone gets a whole team of doctors and scientists who devote to CRPS or any other disease for that matter, then that's probably how we're going to find a cure.
Because she's young, we can raise awareness, and somehow, somewhere, someone can get something that works for CRPS. And just believe that there is hope, and then someday she will it will get better. But at this moment, yeah, very afraid.
I want to lead a normal life, like most people, they take it for granted, but that's what I like.
I just wish that something would happen where somebody can come up all of a sudden out of a clear blue sky and say, this is how we're going to be able to help. I wish for that. I pray for that. I'm a Christian man. It's tough to have kids that you've raised, seen them get married, graduate from college, have a wonderful job that they love, and have them not be able to do that. I'm sorry, I can't say no more.
Treatment was rough because when I come out of the treatment, I was dazed, confused, sleep almost all day after that. This treatment worked for some people, but it doesn't work for everyone. But I'm hoping that something will come along that will take this misery away from me.
It's been like this for almost 4 weeks, or 3 weeks, and a day. I was hoping that this treatment would work. I know it works for a lot of people, but I don't know if she's maybe gone too long. I don't know if we'd have known sooner, if we'd have been able to fix this. It literally breaks my heart just to have to see her like this at night when she's like shaking from pain, and you can't do anything to help your mother. Just wondering why it didn't work for her. Just wondering. They say reflection is the mirror to the soul. I said it was my hope and my dream that after these 15 days of treatment, I would be able to walk the beach with my mother. Unfortunately, that won't happen anytime soon. I came out today with Ellie to reflect on our futures, as we will continue to fight for my mother and the many that live with CRPS each day. I once heard, hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, and all good things never die. The past few months while making this film has been an amazing journey. I've met friends that I could now call family, experienced pains and joys. It's never easy seeing people that you love hurt, but I walk away a better man. I hope they could now push forward, and I hope this film opens eyes and they find a cure or better treatments. I'm here for them, as long as they'll have me.
RSD, complex regional pain syndrome, for about 5 years now. 32. I have 2 kids. I'm married. I used to snowboard.
It is really important to me that Charles Mattocks is making this movie about CRPS. It is very important because it allows people to understand what people like me go through on a daily basis. It will teach people to understand that with this condition, just because we don't look like we're in pain, doesn't mean we aren't.